guys! Today we are going to be testing out some, I shouldn't say we, today I'm going to be testing out some stuff from Yesstyle. They reached out to me and asked if I wanted to pick out some things to make a video with, and of course I said yes, because who doesn't like free stuff, am I right? I know I do. So if you haven't heard of Yesstyle, basically Yesstyle is a site where they sell a lot of Korean and Japanese like fashion and skincare. So you will see in this haul, if you want to call it that I didn't really pick out a lot of like the typical like Korean makeup style, because that's not really my style. So all of the things that I picked out are things that I knew that I would, you know, want in my collection and want to wear. I didn't want to get a bunch of like Korean type makeup that wasn't really my aesthetic just for a video, if that makes sense. Like I wanted to make sure that I really liked the stuff that I ended up getting. So I have a box here. We're gonna test out some stuff and I am really excited. So let me show you the stuff that I ended up getting. So I actually got this headband because it was on there. I'm actually not gonna wear it because I don't feel like it really goes with the rest of my outfit here, but it's just a green headband. I will have all of these things listed down below. I don't know if I'll be able to make them into affiliate links, but if they are affiliate links, it'll be pretty obvious down in my description box. And I'll also have prices and stuff on the screen for all of these items because none of the prices were on the receipt that I received. So I don't know like at the top of my head what the prices of these things are. So I will just have it on the screen. So I want to start off by trying this cream blush. This is from a brand called UNNY CLUB. It's not a brand that I've ever heard of. It looks like it says UNVY for some reason, but then on the other hand, it just says UNNY. So you will see when we start to get into this that I picked a lot of orange products because when I first got the email, it was right after or right before I planned on dyeing my hair orange, and I was like, I need everything orange. So we have an orange blush here. It's a cream blush. Like I said, I would like to test that out. I also got another blush here, which is kind of like an orange blush duo. This is from a brand called Luna. I also have a highlighter here, which is from a brand called Heme or H-E-M-E. I don't know really how that's pronounced, but here's what the highlighter looks like. I think it's like a peachy pink duochrome. Not really sure, but just from like looking at it, that's kind of what it looks like. And the packaging on all of these things feel really, really nice. So I'm super excited to play around with some of these. I also ended up getting a mascara because I saw the wand on this and I was like, this is exactly the same one as my Urban Decay one, or pretty close to it. This is from a brand called Holika Holika. I have heard of this brand. This is their Magic Pole Mascara. So I will show you kind of like what the wand on this looks like. It has one of those like ball tips on it. I'm not sure if you're really gonna be able to see that. And it also has a spiky brush, which I love a good spiky brush. So I'm super excited to test this out. I also picked up a lipstick here, which guess what color it is? Orange, because I just couldn't help myself. This is from a brand called Cute Press, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we're gonna be testing out all of these things. And then for the eyeshadow palette, I was so shocked when I saw this on there because I wasn't expecting them to have really like mainstream brands, but I wouldn't say this is mainstream. It's definitely an indie brand, but this is from Ace Beauté and this is the Flair palette. I have been eyeing this palette for the longest time, and when I saw this on their site, I knew that I had to have this. So like I said, this isn't really like a Korean or Japanese brand or anything like that, but I saw it, I was excited, I thought it would make for a good video. You guys know my aesthetic, you guys know what I like, and I felt like this really fits me. So I wanted to get things that I knew that I would enjoy. So let's go ahead and get into it. I have already put on my foundation. I'm wearing the Natasha Denona Foundation X, my Cover FX concealer, a little bit of my Wet n Wild setting powder. I didn't powder my whole face, obviously, because I am going to be trying the cream blush. I also do have a little bit of my Fenty bronzer on, so that's basically it, what's on my face here. So we're gonna go in with the blush. And how I like to use cream blushes is I like to use a brush for everything. I'm just a brush kind of person. So I'm gonna take this brush here. This is from BH Cosmetics. It's from the Marbled Brush set. I love this set. I still use so many of these brushes, and I got this set like 2 years ago, but they've held up so well. This is the number 6 brush. So I'm just gonna kind of, you know, dig in here. Wow, that looks very, very creamy. So we're gonna get enough of this on my brush and we'll just kind of take it slow and see what happens. But so far, I would say this is more of a, how would I say this? It definitely has more red to it than orange. And it also has a little bit of peach to it. But that is a very, very unique color blush. I don't think I have a blush in this color. This is really, really pretty. Because sometimes I find with like completely orange blushes that they make me look a little bit, not sick, but there's something about the tones in certain orange blushes that just makes it look a little bit weird. Like, I don't know if that is just me, but I find this to be a very, very flattering orange blush, and I am here for this. I really like this. It also applies really easily. It's not super pigmented. You're able to blend it out very nicely. Of course, I'm not going to know how this would blend out over the top of, you know, powder, because I always set my face after I go in with cream products. So I wouldn't really be able to tell you because I'm too scared to put creams on top of powders personally, because I just don't want to disrupt my foundation in any way. So I think this looks really nice. Like, that blended out super well, and I love the color of that. That's really nice. Now, normally I do like to blush my nose, but I don't like to use cream products on my nose because my nose is one of those spots that get oily pretty fast, and so I don't want to have any cream products because I feel like it's going to just break up a little bit faster. I'm gonna go ahead and just set the rest of my face now, and then we'll go in with the highlighter. Like I said, this is my Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder. It is one of my favorite powders. Actually, it is my favorite powder. I don't know why I said one of my favorites. This is the one that I always reach. Wow, that was a lot, but it's fine. I'm gonna dust it off. But this is the one that I always reach for because I just find that it's the powder that keeps my foundation looking the best for longest, because like I said, I do have oily skin, so some powders just make my foundation look a little bit too dewy too fast. It's almost like the foundation just kind of breaks through, or like the oils will break through the powder and the foundation. But with this powder, I find that it makes my foundation last just a little bit longer. Like, I might get like an extra hour or two when I use this powder, and I love that. So let's test out this highlighter now. So like I said, this is from a brand called Heme or Heme or something like that. So let's see, what brush do I want to use? Let me use my Sigma brush. I haven't used that one in a while. So this is the FO3 highlighting brush. Just gonna kind of dig in here and see what we get. So I haven't even swatched this because I kind of wanted it to be a surprise. I don't know, it's just more fun that way. So first application, it's definitely not super intense, which I would guess if this is kind of a Korean brand, like their makeup is probably a little bit more on the subtle side. So I can't really judge that based on what I know of their website, but I will say for myself, it's definitely a little bit too subtle for what I like in a highlighter. But if you're someone who don't like a very intense highlighter, I mean, you would probably like this. I do think the color of it is quite nice though. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say that this is going to become a favorite highlighter of mine. It's really not doing all that much. It's very subtle. So let's see. I want to put on this lipstick just because I want to put on this lipstick. I think this is a matte formula. Let's see. Silky matte lipstick. Let's go ahead and try to put this on. That actually feels really nice, and this applicator was so easy to get like a good line on my cupid's bow here. Like, I can definitely feel that it's going to dry down to a matte finish. You know, when you kind of press your lips together and the lipstick isn't really like moving at all. Yeah, I think I'm gonna really like that. And I also really like the color of this one. This is unlike any other orange lipstick that I have in my collection. It almost leans a little bit brown, but I really like that. That is such a beautiful fall color. So we'll see how that ends up wearing while I do my eye makeup and stuff like that. I am gonna go in with a little bit of powder bronzer though. Just gonna grab my Kaleidos one here. This is the Warm and Deep one. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of bronzer, and I'm also gonna go in with a little bit of a different blush over the top of this, probably when I'm done with my eye makeup. Okay, so let's dig into this palette now. I'm going to prime with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. I have tried Ace Beauté in the past. I only have one of their palettes. I have the Oceanic palette, and I really like the mattes in it, but the shimmers were a little bit tricky for me. I found that I had a hard time like getting them to pick up on my brush, and they were kind of chunky, but that was before I found my NYX glitter primer. So I'm super interested in trying their shimmers with that product because I haven't done that yet. And I just feel like I'm going to get along with the shimmers in this palette a lot better than I would have if I didn't have that one. This lipstick is honestly so nice. I really so far like the formula on this. I also just realized that my lips are so dry, but it's not really like clinging to any kind of dry patch or anything like that. It just looks really nice on the lips. And also the component is really nice. I know I should have shown you that, and it's very heavy. Like, this thing is heavy, which I love that. I love when there's some weight to my products. It just makes them feel a lot more luxurious and expensive than they probably really are. Now, the person that really made me want this palette was definitely Betty Jean. If you guys are not subscribed to Beaute Bean, I will have her link down below. But I think she said this was her favorite palette of last year, which that says a lot because she tries a lot of palettes too. So I have very high expectations for this. I do think I definitely want to play with this teal because I'm kind of wearing blue today. And I also want to use this blue shimmer. What else I want to do though, I'm not really sure. I would like to kind of pull in like some orange in this look as well, but it might be a little bit hard with this teal. They're just going to get kind of muddy. So not really sure where it is I want to go with this look. Oh, so before we go in with the eyeshadows, let me actually put on this blush. I forgot I even had this blush. That was like literally the main reason I got this orange blush, so I could layer it on top of the orange cream blush. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm gonna take my referral 05 brush here and I'm gonna go into the matte. Let me just kind of feel these. Okay, so the top one definitely feels a little bit, not shinier, but it has a little bit more of a silky finish to it. This one also feels really smooth, but I'm gonna use this one first. So it doesn't pick up a ton on my brush, which is probably nice because it's not going to be like super intense. But that definitely shows up on me. I was almost a little bit worried because in the pan, it looks kind of light, but putting it on is really, really nice. Ooh, I think those layer really nicely. I do wish, however, that this side here was the larger pan because that's the one that I'm going to be using a lot. I guess you could probably also mix them. Maybe that could be kind of nice if you wanted something a little bit more subtle. But this is really, really nice. I love the color of these two together. Like I can see myself using this blush combination a lot, especially with this hair color. I am going to blush my nose now because I've already powdered, so just gonna go ham on the nose as always. That's super cute on the nose. I really, really like this. So far, there hasn't really been a product that I didn't like except for the highlighter, so we are off to a good start here. And I really feel like I'm going to love this palette too because the color story in it just really speaks to me. So maybe I will use the green as a transition shade to the teal. Could that be kind of fun? Normally I don't use these kind of like very bright, almost neon colors as transition shades, but maybe that's what I'll do. So let's go in with that one and just kind of see what that one looks like. I'm gonna take this on my refer number 14 brush and I'm just gonna, let me just pat off my eyeshadow primer here first. Just gonna start by packing this in my crease here. I'm gonna try to keep my outer corner a little bit free of color because teals and blues tend to not like to build too much, so just want to make sure that it gets a tacky base to go down on. I'm gonna take this quite high up here because I am expecting to blend that teal color quite a bit over this as well. And that's the reason why I don't really use these kind of colors as transition shades, because I like to really, you know, make them shine and use them more on their own. So usually with a color like this, I tend to be more inclined to use it as an inner corner highlight or something like that to really, you know, make it be by itself and not blend anything over it. So I am expecting this to definitely lose a little bit of intensity once I go in with my second shade, but this would be such a cute, like, all over the eye kind of color and just make it into a one shadow look, which I know I say that sometimes, but honestly, it's not something that I really ever do. It's very rare for me to only use one eyeshadow in a look because I can't help myself, you know, like there's so many beautiful eyeshadows in my collection and in every palette that I try that I can't narrow it down to just one. I just don't have it in me. That is really, really pretty. Let me go in with that teal shade now, which is called Forest Pine. I was tempted to use this one, but I think I'm gonna use the teal because teal is just one of my favorite eyeshadow colors. There's not a lot of kick up in this, which I was kind of expecting. So I'm a little bit thrown off by that. Not that I really mind, but I was just kind of, you know, I had one idea in my head and then that didn't happen. So I'm just gonna pack this on the outer corner to begin with here. And then I will run it through my crease after. This is a beautiful color too. I really like this color. I am seeing a little bit of just like this color having a hard time layering on top of that first shade that I put down, which I almost kind of expected that because with colors like these, it just tends to happen a lot. So I do feel like this color could have benefited from going in with this one first. And I know a lot of people have said that Ace Beauté don't have the most buildable formula, which For the most part, I don't really mind that because I don't really have a problem going dark to light, but when I do somehow happen to do light to dark just to test something out, it's definitely a little bit annoying. And I'm also seeing like a little bit of like just a line in my crease there, which I'm not really sure what is causing that. So I don't love how these two colors are layering over each other. But since I am going to use shimmers on my lid, I will be pulling those high enough up that I'm not going to be able to see that. But I did just want to mention it still because it really depends on like how you do your makeup, what kind of eyeshadow formulas that you like. Because I know that I like some formulas that other people maybe don't like as much, because I don't mind shadows that aren't super buildable because I rarely go in with, you know, more than 2 colors in my crease anyway. And if you can hear the leaf blower outside, I do apologize. It's really, really annoying, but I'm not gonna stop filming just because of it, you know? Because who knows how long she's gonna be out there. She does this all the time. So these two are looking really, really nice together. And now all of a sudden I have a green look, which I really was going for more of a blue look, but it's fine. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that chartreuse shade and just kind of use that to perfect the blend a little bit more here, and also just bring back this color a little bit. So the more I'm working with these, the better they are looking, which is definitely nice. Like, I'm not seeing really as much patchiness or anything anymore. I think it just takes a little bit of going back and forth and layering, and they're going to look okay in the end, because you can see now that that crease that I kind of had going on here, or that line that was in my crease, it's basically gone. So just gotta be a little bit patient with this formula, I think, and eventually it's going to all come together, because this is looking really, really nice. So what do I want to do for underneath my eye? I'm kind of thinking that using the purple could be kind of cool. Like, it would make for a really good contrast. Like, it wouldn't go with anything else that I'm wearing though, but story of my life, because this happens every single time. I have good intentions going into it, I swear. I just can't stick to the plan, because I see a color that I want to use that wasn't originally in my mind, and then I just have to use it. So I'm gonna go in with a shade here called Aubergine. This color also doesn't really have a lot of kick up, which again, I'm very surprised by, because I remember the Oceanic palette having more kick up, so I'm just kind of thrown off a little bit, because I was expecting this one to have the same. But like I said, it doesn't really bother me either way as long as the colors are working. So I'm just gonna kind of smudge this underneath my eye. I'm just gonna put down this color first, and then I'll go in and buff the edges a little bit here to blend it out. Okay, let's go in with some shimmers, because that is always fun. Now, looking at this, there's not really a lot of shimmers that go with this green, to be completely honest. So maybe I will just use the blue, because I don't really feel like any of these other ones would really kind of go with the rest of what I have going on, except for maybe this one. So maybe I'll use these two right here together. Could that be kind of fun? I think that's what we're gonna do. I am gonna put down some glitter primer first, obviously, because with these shimmers, I do want to just see how they work with some glitter primer. Just gonna put the glitter primer basically where I want the shimmers to be. This might end up looking a bit like a half cut crease, but it's not really what I'm going for. But I did pull the glitter primer high enough up that maybe it created a bit of a line in my crease now that I have to follow, but that's okay. So let's start with a blue. This one is called Bayberry. And I'm gonna start by putting that in the middle of my lid and then blending it outwards. And then for the inner portion, I'll go in with that kind of lighter shimmer. This is really, really, really pretty. So far, not having any issues at all putting down or picking up the shadow, which makes me really happy, because like I said before, I did have some problems with the Oceanic shimmer formula, but with this one I'm not having any problems whatsoever. And then I'm gonna flip my brush and I'm gonna go into the lighter kind of champagne-y shade here, which is called Biscotti, and that's gonna go in the front portion of my lid. Just gonna blend that into the blue. Taking a little bit more of that teal shade just to blend the outer edges. I like this. I do want to put something else though, like in the front portion of my lower lash line, and I don't really have a shimmer that I feel like is going to go well with this. So I'm going to grab, I think, a pink shimmer. Could that be kind of fun? I kind of want to use my highlighter from Bitter Lace Beauty. This one is in the shade, oh, these just smell so good. Every time I open this palette, I just want to smell it because it smells like candy. This is in the shade Cupcake Crush. And these are amazing as inner corner shades or just eyeshadows in general. I'm gonna spray this a little bit, as you saw. just gonna put that in the front portion of my lower lash line here, just to kind of get a little bit of sparkle underneath my eye as well. And I feel like this is just gonna blend a little bit better into that purple that I have down there. See, this is what happens when I do like my lipstick and stuff before I do my eyes. Like somehow my eyes never end up matching. I swear I had such good intentions before I started filming this. I'm like, this is gonna be such a fall look. And look where we're at. Like nothing matches at all, which it's fine, it's fine. It's just who I am. I can't change who I am. I think that's gonna be it. So let me go ahead and do some eyeliner because I do want to try the mascara as well. So I'm going to use my Wet n Wild eyeliner and I'm just going to do a line on the top of my lid here. Let's see, what do I want to do in my waterline? I do want to pop something in there just before I go in with my mascara. So I'm thinking maybe I'll find a green. Maybe a green could be fun. Maybe a yellow could be fun. I feel like I have a lot of options here. Maybe a blue would kind of pull everything together a little bit. What if I use, I feel like this one would look kind of nice. I'm gonna use this one. This is Analog from Lethal. I do have a code with Lethal. It is Annette. It will save you 10% off your order. It's not affiliated if you were planning on picking anything up from the brand. I'm just gonna take a, wow, somehow I had something on that brush. I'm gonna take this one. This is from e.l.f. It's a very, very flat, small brush here. I'm not really sure what these things are called. I don't think they have a name, but I do think that these are eyeliner brushes. I'm just gonna stamp this eyeliner into my waterline. And these just stay so well on me, the Lethal liners. I swear, sometimes I have a hard time getting them out of my waterline at night when I take my eye makeup off because they just stick in there so well. I'm also going to curl my lashes, which is a very, very essential step in my routine because since I don't wear lashes, I do like my own lashes to be nice and long and curled. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this real quick. And then we're gonna test out this mascara. I like to go in with my mascara very quickly after I have curled my lashes, just to make sure they keep the curl. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start applying this like I would any other mascara. So I think this is a lengthening mascara more than a volumizing mascara from what I remember. And so far I can definitely tell that it's adding a lot of length, but it's not adding a ton of volume. So I'm just gonna work on building this up and see just how crazy I am able to get this, because I do like a little bit of both length and volume, but if I had to choose, I would probably choose length over anything. I do like the wand though. I think the wand is quite nice, and I'm actually a fan of like the ball on the tip of the mascara wands these days. I think it's kind of a cool touch. It does do a very, very good job at separating my lashes here. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but it's definitely taken quite some time to build it up to be what I want it to be, and I still don't feel like I'm really getting enough volume out of this, but let me go ahead and try it on my lower lashes and see if maybe it's better for that. It is quite a wet formula, so it is transferring a little bit to the shadow under my eye, which definitely could be my own fault, but just something to keep in mind. So, I mean, it's okay, but I don't feel like I still have the result that I want, so I'm gonna use a little bit of my Pat McGrath mascara. I find this to be so good at just layering on top of other mascaras, because this is definitely more of a volumizing mascara, and I can't get enough of this right now, which I never thought I would say about a wand that's as big as my eye, because I don't really like big wands and mascaras, but the formula on this is just so good. I've been really enjoying this way more than I like to admit. And I can actually see myself repurchasing this mascara when it's out, which is crazy because this thing is so expensive, but I just feel like it adds that little extra drama that I want in my lashes. So I'm actually very happy about this. I do want to put on a different highlighter as well though, because I feel like the one that I'm wearing just isn't even really there anymore. So just because I have this palette in front of me with the Bitter Lace Beauty highlighters, I'm going to take this one, which is called Sugar Sweet. I always kind of forget like what these look like on the face because they have such a shift to them, but I'm going to take a little bit of this one and we're just going to see what it looks like on the face. Ooh, okay, so this has a bit of a blue shift to it, it looks like. That's kind of cool. I really like that. Does it go with the look? Maybe not, but it's fine. You can't always be matchy-matchy and be perfect and all put together perfectly, you know? All right, so that's gonna be the final look. Now let's talk a little bit more about these products and how I feel about them. I do feel like I was pretty clear in, you know, my thoughts when I was using them, but let me just kind of run through these real quick still. Let's start with this blush here from UNNY. I really like this. I think the color of it is beautiful. It's very nice and creamy, but still pigmented, but not too pigmented. It blends up very nicely. It builds up very nicely. Had no problems blending it out at all. I really like this. I'm definitely going to be using this a lot, I feel like. The powder blush here is really, really nice as well. Like I was saying before, I wish that this pan was a little bit bigger and that these two were swapped, but next time I'm gonna try to kind of just swirl my brush into both and use it that way, because that way I won't be annoyed that the pan is so small. But this was really, really nice to blend it out super easily. Didn't have any problems with it. I think that the compact is really nice. Even though it's plastic, it doesn't feel cheap. You know what I mean? Like there's a right way and a wrong way to make plastic packaging, and I feel like Wet n Wild is the wrong way and this is the right way. Like this just feels nice, and it also feels kind of heavy. Like there's some weight to this as well, and it's very thick plastic and has really good like closure on it that's easy to open. I really like this. The highlighter, on the other hand, was definitely the dud in the batch. I'm sorry Heme or Heme or whatever your brand is. I just don't like this. I feel like this isn't for me, you know? This could be for someone else, but it's not for me. It's just not intense enough. It's very, very subtle. Maybe if you put this over the top of a non-set base, it would pop a little bit more. Maybe if you sprayed your face first, sprayed your brush, apply this, it would pop a little bit more, but I don't have time for that when I have highlighters that look like this that don't need any extra steps, you know? The lipstick, I still really, really, really like this. Now I'm super curious about this brand, and this makes me want to like check out what else they have in their range because I love this so much. And I do think that this was quite affordable too. I want to say it was like in the $12, $15 range or something. Not that that's like super affordable, but it's not like Sephora prices, you know? So I'm really excited to have tried this out. This is really, really comfortable. And I feel like the color is just so beautiful too. As for the palette, I really like this palette. I thought at first when I started using it that the mattes wouldn't really like work with me the way that I wanted them to, but the more I started building and blending, the better they did, and I think that the final result looks really, really nice. I really like the color story in this. I can see why so many people are raving about this palette, and I totally get it because this is a beautiful palette, and I don't know if I have time to play more with this on camera. I'm so sorry because I have other things coming in, and this is a very old palette, and so I just, you know, I can't spend my time doing multiple look videos with older palettes when I know that they're just not going to get that many views. And I know that a lot of you are going to say, I'll watch, but you guys are in the minority, just know that, and that sucks for all of us, but it's just the way it is. The mascara, like I was saying when I tried this, I feel like this is probably okay if you're not super picky with the mascaras that you use. For me, it just didn't do exactly what I wanted it to do in a mascara. It is nice and lengthening and separating, but that's pretty much it. And I just want a little bit more in my mascara. So yeah, that's gonna be my try-on haul or try-on with all of the haul things. Wow, I can't speak. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. That's gonna be the end of me trying these products. I do have a code with Yesstyle. I will have that on the screen, and I will also, of course, have links down below in my description box if you do want to go shop on their site. That's gonna be it for today, I think. So thank you so much for watching my video as always. If you want to see some other first impression videos, here's my playlist, and if you're new, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.